Hi and welcome along to AFTV Transfer Daily, the show that keeps you up to date with players that have been linked with a January transfer move to Arsenal. And we are here again. It's January the 1st. First of all, I've got to say Happy New Year going out to each and every one of you. Wishing you health, wealth and happiness in 2022. And of course, hoping that Arsenal can do something this year. Going into 2022 in 4th place in the league at the start of the season, none of us, after those first 3 games, would have predicted that. The thing is now, can we stay in that position come the end of the season this year in May? Can we still be in 4th place, that would be a major step for Arsenal. Major step. Get us back into the Champions League. Get us back at that top table of football where we haven't been for such a long time and we need to get back to. And listen, at the start of the season, not many people predicted that we could get into the top 4. This is an opportunity to do it. And January is an opportunity to strengthen the team, to give us that push to get into that top 4. Now, I ain't going to lie right now. I'm really kind of got a lot of trust in Arsenal, which is something that I haven't had a lot over the years. But I have got a lot of trust in Arsenal in this transfer window based off of what they did in the summer. In the summer, they made some shrewd signings. And we've got to say, Edu and Arteta, they've got most of these signings right. They've been brilliant. Ben White's done very well. Tomiyasu's been brilliant. Our goalkeeper has been absolutely superb. When a lot of people are talking about Ramsdale, me included, I'm not going to be wise after as well. I was kind of like, I don't know. But he has been a brilliant signing. And the signings all round have been very, very good by Arsenal. So can they repeat the trick in January? We know it's a lot more difficult. We know it could be loan signings coming in. We know we may not get our biggest targets, but a good January transfer window could be that push to get us into the top 4. Also, we've got to remember in this window, we're losing a lot of players to the African Cup of Nations. Thomas Partey is going to be away in January with the Ghana team. Pepe's going to be away with the Ivory Coast. El Neni with Egypt. And of course, a player that's not even been in the squad at the moment, but Pierre Emerick-Aubameyang, he will be away, of course, with Gabon. And of course, there's what's happening with Pierre Emerick-Aubameyang. Will he still be an Arsenal player when he returns? We know that he's been left out of the team now for about 4 or 5 games and stripped of the captaincy. Will he return back as an Arsenal player? Could he be on his move? Could be on the move, should I say, this January? He's got enormous wages that he's on, rumored to be up to nearly £350,000 a week. What team is going to be able to afford those sort of wages? The only team I can think of right now, maybe Newcastle. We know that Newcastle, they may need a striker. Callum Wilson is out injured. Maybe Newcastle could afford it. Maybe Newcastle could, I don't know, even a loan move, but that would be risky by Arsenal. Suppose he went on loan or was sold to Newcastle and does really, really well. I don't know. It's a conundrum for Mikel Arteta and Arsenal. What are they going to do with Pierre Emerick-Aubameyang? And of course, there's the Eddie Nketiah situation. He said quite openly the other day after scoring those goals in the League Cup, he scored a hat-trick. He said he wants to leave. Contract runs out at the end of the season. He wants regular football, walks away at the end of the season for nothing. For me, Arsenal have to try and cash in on him this January if he doesn't sign a new contract, because he'll walk away in the summer for nothing. So where does Eddie end up? We know that there's quite a few teams that have been interested in him, teams like Crystal Palace, teams like, Newcastle could be another one that may be interested in him. There's several teams that might be interested in taking Eddie Nketiah. As a matter of fact, I was looking at a list of players at Arsenal. Alexander Lacazette out of contract. Been playing a vital role for Arsenal, but again, walks away in the summer for free. If a big offer comes in for him in January, do Arsenal cash in on Alexander Lacazette? Do they say, right, we'll take 10, 15 million rather than walk away for nothing, or do you keep him till the end of the season? We know that they've offered him a contract extension that it looks like he's turned down. So what happens with Lacazette? Ainsley Maitland-Niles has been linked heavily with a move away to Roma. It looks like that could happen. That could be a loan move with him going out on loan to Jose Mourinho's Roma with an option to buy at the end of it. He hasn't figured recently, was figuring at the start of the season, but that one, I think there is a lot in that one, and he could be on the move this January. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with him. Mohamed El Neni, another player's away with the African Cup of Nations. His contract's running out as well. Do we cash in on him, or do we just let that run down? These are some of the conundrums that, Mikel Arteta and Edu are going to face this January transfer window. Balogun, do we send him out on loan? What do we do? We can see very, very talented players. To me, he's done everything he's got to do in the under-23s, but still doesn't quite seem ready for the first team. Maybe a great idea to send him out on loan, get him playing like proper football week in, week out, so that he can be ready for that first team. But then if you send him out and you then say lose at Eddie Nketiah or Lacazette, then what, I think one of the things that is very obvious is that Arsenal need a striker. They need a striker. We can see that with the problems with Aubameyang. Lacazette's going, Eddie's going eventually. We need a striker. And that next signing of a striker is going to be a priority position for Arsenal and very, very important. Now, one of the players linked is Dusan Vlahovic, the 21-year-old Serbian who plays for Fiorentina. He's been absolutely tearing it up over there in Serie A. Last season, he tore it up. And I remember speaking to Fabrizio Romano about it, and he was telling me that, Robbie, this guy, he is excellent. He would do brilliantly in the Premier League. He's still only 21, as I said. 18 months left on his contract. So he's vulnerable. We know that he's going to go. May not be this January. And he's one of the hottest strikers in Europe. I mean, a lot of teams sort of look on it and think, right, main guy we'd like to get, Haaland, Mbappe. If we can't get him, well, we're looking at Vlahovic. He's hot property right now. 16 goals already this season. Scored 41 goals in 2021. Valued at around about 63 million. And as I said, Arsenal very, very interested in him. But his sort of agent sort of coming out the other day and seeming to be saying that, Arsenal are not big enough for Vlahovic. They know, as I said, that every club in Europe is going to be after this guy come the end of the season. I see it highly unlikely as a deal that will get done in January, but will Arsenal try and go back in with maybe a mega offer that might be too tempting for Fiorentina and for Vlahovic's representatives? We're going to have to wait and see. Another player that's been spoken about has been Dominic Calvert-Lewin. 24 still, so a great age, has really matured as a player at Everton, valued at around about £40.5 million, according to Transfer Market. He's had an injury-hit season, only 3 appearances so far this season for Everton with 3 goals, but he's been injured, so very much doubt any movement on this will happen this January, but he would be perfect for Arsenal. Great in the air, knows the Premier League inside out, but as I said, the injury to him seems to rule it out. And it wouldn't be an easy deal to get done either, because he is like one of the jewel in the crown at Everton. And Everton have been really struggling this season and they're desperate to get him back. There's Alexander Isak as well. The Swedish international. We saw him in the Euros. He looked really, really good. Plays over there in La Liga for Real Sociedad. 7 goals in all competitions for the Swede this season. Still only 22, so very, very young, valued at around about 36 million pounds. Could he be tempted with a move? We see that Newcastle are said to be one of those teams that are really, really interested in him. That's the dynamic of this now, is that you've got teams like Newcastle that have got the money to even blow Arsenal out of the water. That is the current situation. We know that they've got the richest backers in world football. So that is going to be a task to get that done. But Alexander Isak, another player that has been linked with Arsenal, got a contract till 2026. Won't be an easy deal to get done. Again, difficult to get done in January, or if you come with loads of money, but Newcastle might be able to blow us out of the water with that. There's Jonathan David's another guy who's been spoken about a lot. We were speaking about him last season. He's had a great season so far at Lille. You know, valued at around about 45 million, scored a lot of goals, 16 goals in all competitions. He's been on fire this season. He was born in Brooklyn, New York, but he plays for Canada International, and valued at around about 45 million pounds. So it wouldn't be cheap. We do know that he loves Arsenal. He's been pictured before wearing a Thierry Henry shirt. So that shows you that, you know, he's got a love for Arsenal. He's got a love for Thierry Henry. But could Arsenal pull this one off in the January transfer window? We know that Lille are a selling club. They've been selling players. I mean, they won the league last season and literally sold the whole team, including the manager went. So they will be up for selling players. But could Arsenal get this one done? So lots of strikers under consideration. Another position, actually, that Arsenal, we know, are looking at is the midfield. And again, losing players in the African Cup of Nations in that midfield area, you know, that midfield area is going to be an area that really is going to be important to make sure that we don't slack off. I mean, we've been doing well in that position so far this season. Now, this guy, Denis Zakaria, was linked with Arsenal heavily in the summer, plays for Borussia Mönchengladbach, 25-year-old midfielder. Valued at about 24.3 million pounds. Contract up in the summer, has already told Borussia Mönchengladbach that he wants to leave. They've said he will be leaving. They've announced he seems to be a priority target for Arsenal. But again, another one of these players that it's not a secret. There's lots and lots of teams after him. Of course, he's a teammate of Granit Xhaka in that Switzerland national team. Could that tempt him to come to Arsenal? Will this happen in January, or will this again be a move for the summer? The difficulties of getting deals done in January, you know, are there for all to see. You know, I mean, you've got clubs mid-season, you know, they might be doing well. They don't want to let their player go. They might be doing badly, desperate to keep that player to try and stay in the division, etc. So can Zakaria be a player that makes a move? And then there's this guy's we've been linked with, Douglas Luiz, who I think is a really underrated player. Defensive midfielder, plays for Aston Villa. Now, we know that Mikel Arteta knows him well from his time at Manchester City. He was, of course, a Manchester City player. Has signed now, though, for Villa. He was on at Villa originally on loan. Valued at around about 31.5 million pounds. But again, would Aston Villa let him go, you know, mid-season? You know, Steven Gerrard's there now. I don't think that's going to happen, but he's been heavily linked with a move to Arsenal, the Brazilian. But I don't know. I just can't see it happening, especially now in January. Maybe in the summer, but not in January. Villa might still be upset with us because we didn't sell him Emil Smith-Rowe as well. This could be a likely one, possibly, if Arsenal want it. He wants to move. He's said to have a gentleman's agreement with, his club Lille for him to move, and that is Renato Sanches. He was excellent in the Euros, really looked an excellent player in midfield. The only problem with him is his injury record is not great. He's been suffered with quite a few injuries throughout his career. Still only 24. We know the stories of him coming to the Premier League before and it not working out for him, you know, especially when he's at Swansea. He went to Bayern Munich, it didn't work out. But in France, he's been excellent. For the national team, he's been excellent. Said to have a gentleman's agreement with Lille that he can leave the club in January. So he would be available. Around about £27 million. Wolves are said to be the front runners in trying to sign him at the moment. I don't know. I think it would be a great signing for Arsenal and a doable signing. It's whether Mikel Arteta and Edu see him as that long-term guy, and also will he be fit? But from what I've seen of him, he would be perfect for what Arsenal need. This other guy's been linked with Arsenal. He's been linked with Arsenal forever. Phillipe Coutinho still remains linked with Arsenal at Barcelona. They've been desperate to get him off the books for ages. We all, you know, they signed him for over £100 million. He's been an enormous flop, been out on loans. It just has not worked out for him. They're desperate to get rid of him. Arsenal been heavily linked with him. I'm not sure about this one now. I think a couple of seasons ago, I was like, we should get a player like Coutinho. But now, with the emergence of Emil Smith-Rowe and with the emergence of Martin Odegaard, I'm not too sure if Coutinho would be the right guy. Again, you know, the price, the fee's not heavy, and it's a doable deal, maybe even possible a loan deal in January. It might be possible. But would he fit? That's the other thing. The player's got to be the right fit. I mean, he, again, has been linked with a lot of clubs. Newcastle said to be very, very interested in signing him as well. That name Newcastle is going to prop up a lot throughout this January month, trust me. But they've been heavily linked with him. But Phillipe Coutinho, I want to put it out to you guys. Would you have him now at Arsenal? Do you think he'd be a good fit? Let us know in the comments. And the last midfielder I'm going to tell you about is this guy. He plays for Juventus. Now, Coutinho again. This could possibly happen. It's Dejan Kulusevski, 21-year-old Swedish international who's playing for Juventus. A guy where it hasn't quite worked out for him at Juventus. They bought him for, a good amount of money, around about just under £30 million. Plays on the right wing, a very, very talented player, but he just hasn't clicked for him at Juventus. And Juventus, one of these teams that are laden with loads of players, players that can't get starts, etc. And he's available. Now, Arsenal said to be very, very interested in him. They like him a lot. He can play on the right wing. He can play sort of right of central midfield as well. Seems to be a lot of interest in this. You never know. That could be a possible deal that could happen. You may look on it and say, well, he's not your Coutinho, is he? He's not that big name. But this is where I'm having a lot of faith this window in Arsenal. There was a lot of signings that they made in the summer that didn't jump off the page at you. I said at the time, they were sensible signings, maybe not sexy signings, but sensible. And sensible has really worked out. And you can only look at a player like, for instance, Tomiyasu, who came from Serie A, who was doing well in Serie A and was really rated in Serie A, but wasn't that big name in lights. Look how good he's been. We were all screaming, let's get a Max Aarons, let's get this player, that player. Would you swap, any of those players right now for a Tomiyasu? So this is where we're going to have to trust Edu and trust Mikel Arteta. They built that now. They earned that trust from what they did in January. And once again, as I said, if we can have a good January, what they did in the summer, should I say, if they can have a good January transfer window, who knows what Arsenal can do this season. Listen, thanks for watching the first show of 2022 Transfer Daily. Don't forget to leave all your comments. I want to hear from you guys on the targets. Who else out there? What other striker out there do you think Arsenal could get? Is there a striker Arsenal could loan? I was looking on it and I was like, if we can't, because for me, if you can't get that really big name right now that we need, and it's going to have to be in the summer, what about a loan of a striker from now till the end of the season? If we did, who would that be? Who could that be? A bit like what United did when they got Cavani. Is there that type of player out there that Arsenal could loan from now till the end of the season as a striker or as a midfielder who could come in and do a job? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching the show today. I will be back in the morning. I'm going to be here every day of the January transfer window, as I always am, right up until the 31st of January when it shuts at 6 p.m. So make sure you check it out every day here, Transfer Daily, the original. We were doing it before anybody even thought of it, here on AFTV. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you tomorrow. Like this video, and see you then.